Ripped from tomorrow's headlines. The Bolshoi Ballet just announced a new principal dancer. She's titanium, runs on lithium-ion batteries, and her turnout is flawless every single time. Is another human career about to be automated? Is yours? Hi, I'm Scot Noel of DreamForge magazine. Let's engage. Today, we're starting with ballet dancing robots and ending up somewhere a bit more serious, questioning why we tie our entire sense of self-worth to a paycheck and to our own accomplishments. Along the way, we'll look at chess grandmasters, sold-out stadiums, handmade pottery, and a machine that was supposed to kill an entire industry, but didn't. Stick around. You know the robots are coming for you. Okay, the ballet robot is made up. Sort of. There is a bit of dancing, even more dancing, but the anxiety behind my example, that's very real. In 2025 alone, nearly 55,000 jobs were cut in the US, and that was directly attributed to AI. Not to a recession, not to offshoring, to artificial intelligence specifically replacing the work people were doing. And 40% of employers worldwide say they plan to reduce their workforce as AI automates more tasks. And what about people like me in creative fields? AI can now write marketing copy. It can compose music, can generate images that win art competitions. When an AI-generated artwork beat human artists at the Colorado State Fair, the reaction wasn't just outrage, it was grief. People felt something had been taken away from them. I see that every day. Look, this is a real disruption, not a joke. Real jobs are being affected. Real people are scared. And I'm not here to tell you everything is fine and don't worry about it. But this is DreamForge, so let's go deeper than the panic. We've been in situations like this before, and more than once. And what actually happened has some lessons for us. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov. This was supposed to be the end. If a machine could beat the greatest chess mind in history, why would anyone bother playing? But here's what actually happened. Chess experienced a renaissance. The media coverage of that match sparked millions of people around the world to start learning the game. So did the movie The Queen's Gambit. Today, Chess.com has over 250 million members. The median age to achieve Grandmaster has dropped dramatically. We now see 12-year-olds earning that title, trained in part by the very AI that was supposed to make humans obsolete. Computers just didn't kill human chess. Something different happened. And nobody watches two computers play each other for entertainment. I shouldn't say that. I would actually watch that. But what we really watch is Magnus Carlsen. We watch the human drama, because the point was never just the moves on the board. It was the human beings making them. You'd think that in an age where every song ever recorded lives in your pocket for $10 a month, people would stop going to concerts. Why would anyone want to fight traffic, pay for parking, and stand in a crowd when the audio quality in your earbuds is technically better? But despite that, Live Nation reported fan attendance hitting records in 2025. 159 million people went to their events alone. The live concert market isn't falling, it's projected to nearly double by 2032, and 80% of concert goers stream music before the show. Streaming, a new technology that disrupted everything, doesn't replace the live experience. It's a gateway drug for it. People, it turns out, don't just want music. They want to be in the room when another human being creates it in front of them. They want the sweat and the missed notes and the crowd singing the chorus back. They want the imperfections as we reach for perfections. That's the point. Or something like it. And, what is it now, Def?
Scott, I need to stop you there. These are lovely examples. Chess players and concert goers and people making artisanal cheese. But you're skating past a rather significant detail. People need to eat. When a graphic designer loses their job to Midjourney, they can't pay rent with the philosophical comfort that humans still appreciate handmade pottery. Philosophy doesn't cover the mortgage. You should know this better than others.
No, you're right, Def. That objection is actually the most important part of this whole conversation, so hold that thought for a minute. Here's something that shouldn't make sense but does. In an era of mass production where machines can make anything cheaper, faster, and more uniformly than human hands can, it's still that handmade goods are booming. Etsy does billions in annual sales. Craft brewing went from a hobby to an industry. Our downtown craft beer place is the spot to enjoy pizza and ale. Farmers markets are everywhere, another downtown feature where I live. People are paying more for things that a machine could make and even does make for less. Why? Because when a machine makes something, it's a product, and that can be useful. But when a person makes something, it's a story, and humans are hardwired to care about stories. Here's one cool example of automation panic. When ATMs first appeared in the 1970s, everybody assumed bank tellers were finished. The machine does the job. Why should we pay a person? What actually happened? ATMs made individual branches cheaper to operate, so banks opened more of them. The total number of bank tellers actually went up, and their job changed. Less counting cash, more advising customers on building relationships, solving complex problems, doing their banking. The automation didn't eliminate the humans, it set them up to do more human parts of the work. Now, that doesn't mean automation always has good effects, but it almost always has unexpected effects that aren't gloom and doom all the time. So here's where I need you to stay with me, because this is where it gets really interesting. If humans keep choosing human performance, human craft, human creativity, even when machines can technically do it faster, cheaper, and more precisely, what does that tell us about ourselves? And there might even be a harder question. And this is one that Def was really getting at with her interruption earlier. If we know people still want to watch people, still want to buy from people, still want to connect with people, then why are we so terrified of machines doing our jobs? Would you really rather dig a hole by hand than use a backhoe? I think the answer isn't actually about robots or automation at all. It's about a story we've been telling ourselves for a very long time. It's a story that says you are what you get paid to do, and you are what you accomplish in society. And my question is, are you? Have we always been? Think about how we introduce ourselves. What do you do? It's almost always the first question someone asks you. Not what do you love, not what are you curious about. It's always what do you do? And what we mean is, what do you get paid for? For myself, I've written 3 unpublished novels that I feel a lot more connection to than my paycheck. We've built an entire identity system around our economic function. Your job isn't just how you pay the bills, it's who you are at dinner parties. It's your answer when someone asks what you're all about. And that's why automation feels like an existential threat, not just a financial one. Losing your job feels like losing yourself. It's also a pretty big panic when you can't pay the rent. But what if that's the thing that actually needs to change? Not the robots, not the automation, but the story and the economics. What if we could build a world where people are supported, where the basics are covered, where you don't have to justify your existence with a time card? And the question isn't, what do you get paid for, but what would you do if you have the free time to do whatever you want to do? And what if you have the financial freedom to do it as well? Some people would dance. Some would build things with their hands. Some would teach or explore or sit in a park or write terrible poetry and love every minute of it. Some people would collect more books. And here's the thing that makes that all more than a pipe dream. We already see the pattern. Every time automation enters a space, humans don't disappear from it. They find a new reason to be there. Chess players train with AI and become better than any generation before them. Musicians play to bigger crowds than ever. Artisans charge more, not less, because the human touch matters more than when machines can do the rest. The fear isn't really about robots. It's about a system that tells us our worth equals our productivity. Change the system and the robots don't replace us. They may become dance partners. So here's my question for you. I really do want to hear your answer. If you didn't have to work to survive, if the basics were covered, what would you do with your time? What's the thing you run toward, not because someone's paying you, but because it's yours? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's anger, because that's the only way you know how to express what you're feeling right now. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe to the channel, and we'll take on more cool subjects, like the idea of how those basic life needs actually can get covered in a world of AI and robots doing all the jobs. And if you love speculative fiction where hopes and ideas triumph over darkness, check out DreamForge magazine. The link is in the description. I'm Scot Noel. Thanks for engaging, and I hope you'll join us for the next one. Is Def still listening? She was supposed to start dinner. I'm getting kind of hungry.